we're a growing business, and our team is also growing as well. So we've got five employees. Well, there's five of us working at Scentsibility at the moment, and we didn't have anything in place. We didn't have any no structure, no employee handbook, no policies. We didn't have any, anything in place for any one-to-ones or team meetings, or we didn't really have anything like that. So we approached Mazzie to come and help us with that, and what we got back was actually more than what we sort of were
We
expecting, to
thought
be
we
honest.
wanted.
Yeah, because it
We
was just
did.
so much more, because it helped us look at our business, and it helped us look at where we are, and where we'd like to be, and also the values, the core values of where Sense and Scentsibility are, and where we want to be. And also, we didn't realize, and what we learned from it is we really needed to work on ourselves as well, and that's something we weren't aware of, and that's our own personal development has been something that's that we've learned a lot with, basically. So yeah.
As a business, we first of all, we wanted to be able to make sure we were doing the right thing legally, because we started off really small, just the two of us, and then someone else came in. But it does get up when your team grows that you really need to have these things in place to safeguard yourself and your employees. So that was the main thing. But we also wanted to get more confidence and be able to have difficult conversations with staff. So because we are a small business, and we did start off with having one person, what happens when you're working really closely is that you develop a relationship that's quite informal, because you're spending lots of time with somebody and there's not so much pressure. But as it grows, you need to have those boundaries in place. But because you've already had that informal relationship, it can be really hard then to address things that you're not happy with as a business owner. So for us, that's where we've been really stuck, and we really needed some help to say, how do we have these conversations? Because there are things here that are really bothering us, but we're not confident in being able, they've been happening for a long time, and we're not very confident, or we don't know how to address them. So for us, it's been about how we become a boss instead of a friend.
Yeah, we didn't even have any job descriptions in place, so nobody knew where they were, or what their roles were, so we were
They'd
able to,
evolved. They'd really
yeah,
evolved over time, hadn't
yeah,
they? The
yeah,
jobs, from what they initially started off being to
yeah,
something completely different.
yeah. So now the team are aware exactly what their roles are, and that's made a big difference. I feel a little bit more comfortable having those sort of one-to-one conversations with the staff, and we've picked up tips like to be more inquisitive and more coming from a place of curiosity, and so that's been brilliant. And the thing is, if these things aren't addressed, we find that, morale, team morale and motivation and the general culture of the workplace can be a bit flat, so without these things in place, it can improve things, and then ultimately that has an impact on sales and profitability and the general atmosphere of the place is a lot more, it's more, we want to be there, it motivates us, it makes it a happier place to be. So yeah.
I also think it's
Yeah.
really helped us with forward thinking as well, and realizing how important it is to know way in advance what your intentions are to do. That might not always happen, and that's okay, but what the general plan is, and it's not just for us to know, but the whole team really benefit when they know where they stand and what they're looking ahead to do. So they're not trying to guess what's in your head and just do a job task list. They've got a real sort of connection, and they can understand the bigger picture as well as to where they fit in, which I think is much more motivating for them also. Easy. Although what I would say, she just cracked the whip. We have had homework, haven't we? It's been really easy to work with Mazzie, because she just listens and will let us sort of go on and ramble, but really tunes into things that we've said that we haven't realised we've said, and digs deeper into the sort of issues that we're having, and sort of verbalises them in a way that we haven't been able to pinpoint. But equally, what I really love is that how you've pushed us out of our comfort zone. There's been times that have been like, oh, I can't face doing this, don't want to do this, but it's been really, really necessary, hasn't it? Particularly in having those conversations, and then making sure that we've done what she's asked us to. She doesn't
Yeah.
give us any sort of leeway.
Yeah, and also in between meetings, Mazzie's always been available, you know, via WhatsApp, on phone call, you know,
Oh,
voice message, emails, straight away. You know, it's always been a quick response, hasn't it? So
yeah,
mm,
definitely. So
mm.
thank you.
Well, I just think we've got knowledge now, haven't we? You know,
Yes.
and we've got knowledge is power, isn't it? So we've got you know, we've got an understanding of what needs. We've got some tools, you know what I mean? We've got like a toolkit to use now for to go forward, you know, for the business, and um, you know, and we've already had team meetings. We've already started implementing this stuff, you know, and it's been great. So, and we feel a little bit more in control of our own business, you know, whereas we didn't feel in control at all before, you know. So, yeah,
I think
that's what.
it's also
Yeah,
given us the confidence to not necessarily jump in and take action straight away, which is one of our default things of trying to fix things and making sure that everybody's happy and okay. And for us to understand that we don't need to respond to something immediately. It's okay to be able to think about it, look at the bigger picture, find out what the facts are about it, and then respond accordingly and properly as well. So that's been a massive thing for us, hasn't it? And that's filtered, I think, for
yeah,
me personally, that's filtered into lots of areas of my personal life,
yeah,
not just the business life as well. Going, it's okay just to hold some
yeah,
space for a bit before sort of leaping ahead.
yeah. Because it was just me and you in this business, but because we've grown, we've needed to employ people, you know, and we're a pair of softies, really, you know what I mean? And so we can quite easily let people walk over us, you know, and so that's been the big thing for us, you know, that we now have got a line where it's clear that we're, you know, there's management and then there's a team, you know, and there's a clear line there rather than, you know,
Blurred
a
lines.
blurred line. That's what they were before, you know. So
And
yeah,
also
yeah,
it's put a spotlight on our own working relationship, isn't
yeah,
it? And how we communicate with each other
mm,
as business partners, but also in our personal relationship as well. So it's sort of how do we manage both parts of that really, really well without slipping this, they sort of becoming mingled together.
mm,
So
yeah.
that's been really, really helpful.
Also as well, you know, like when you're dealing with a team and you don't know whether you can say this or you don't know whether you can say that, and it's like, am I allowed to say this? Is this legal? Is this illegal? You know, is this going to be? Are we going to be up against the employment tribunal or whatever? You know, so it's at least we've got a clear understanding now. You know, so yeah,
Exactly.
mm,
Not to be too afraid to say some things.
yeah,
It's absolutely okay to say
yeah,
them.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
So yes.
yeah,
So
definitely.
thank you. Brilliant. There's no doubt it's been one of the most beneficial things we've ever done as a business and probably personally, because like with that we wouldn't have those training days. We wouldn't have had planning in place. It's made us really look at everything that we do. And I would say that we do things in a much different way than we did this time last year.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's harder.
Mm,
It has been harder making the change, but that's going to get easier over time.